Auto Plaza Hotline, Athletic Director at CU Boulder, Rick George, joins us. And Rick, you're chatting with Zach By and obviously your boy Phillip Lindsay here. And I'll just ask you, big picture from 20,000 feet, the transition and the sequence that you lived with boots on the ground from where this program, the energy, the spirit, the attendance, all things CU football, from where it was to where it is now. Have you ever seen anything like this in your athletic career, and has it surpassed even your expectations?
Yeah, look, I knew there would be a lift, and it's, every coaching job that you go out and hire, there's different reasons to hire. And we were at a point at CU before Coach Prime came here that we were becoming irrelevant. And it was our opportunity to be relevant again. It was an easy decision from my perspective to bring Coach Prime in. He's exceeded expectations. Just the exposure that we've received since he's gotten here, that's kind of where I had a sense that it was going to be big, but I didn't think it would be as big as it is. And it's been transformational. It's put us on the map. It's made us relevant again. And, now we're going to have him for a number of years beyond the first two, and we're excited about that.
Well, you just said it right there, Rick. You're going to have Coach Prime for a long time now. Now, with that, the standards have to be pretty much raised. What's the expectations this year and moving forward with the Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Prime being the head coach?
Well, look, I think it goes back to, the days when McCartney was here and Barnett and that crew. We were winning every year, 9-10 games. We were going to bowl games. We were competing for conference championships. That's what the expectation is. I think, as Coach would say, that the first season was kind of a season of hope that he had. We were 4-8. We got off to a great start. We beat a really good TCU team to kick off the season, and then it became a season of expectations this past year, and we were 9-3. We were tied for the conference title at the end of the year, regular season, but because of the tiebreaker, we were third or fourth. We went to the bowl game, and that's the expectation moving forward. We have every belief that we've got the tools in place to be able to be successful. And, we all know Colorado, the history and tradition of Colorado. They say it's not entrusted to the timid or the weak,
yes,
but
sir.
We know what our history and tradition is, and our history and tradition is winning. And we're back to that, and we're going to continue to be successful under Coach Prime's leadership.
We're chatting with Rick George, Athletic Director for University of Colorado Boulder. Rick, we threw out to our listeners, say, hey, we're going to have Rick George on. What type of questions would you want us to ask Rick? And it was unbelievable just how many of the questions related to NIL. And I think a lot of people are just honestly a little bit confused that they're working their full-time job and they're not necessarily diving into the details. How would you explain how the revenue sharing is going to work, and is there NIL opportunity for frontline players at CU? How is that all going to work here over the coming years?
Yeah, look, there's two components of this settlement, the House settlement, and when we believe that it'll be approved in the middle of April. And when it does, basically there's two things. One, you'll have the ability to revenue share up to $20.5 million, which is 22% of the average Power 4 revenue. And so you'll be able to revenue share with your student athletes $20.5 million in the upcoming year. That's piece one. Piece two is the above the cap issue. The above the cap is a legitimate NIL. It has to be a business to student athlete relationship that requires them to, do commercials and do appearances and things like that. They have to be legitimate, like the Celsius and Travis Hunter, the Nike Shedeur Sanders deal. Those are the legitimate deals. The NCAA's got a clearinghouse that they will determine if those are legitimate or not. So it is going to have some teeth behind it. So those are two ways. And then so for us, we made the commitment. We need our fans and our donors and our base and our state and our businesses to get behind what we're doing. And I've been saying that this is our moment in time. We have to grasp it. It's challenging moving forward when you've got to find $20.5 million in your budget to share. It's not like it's sitting around. So we've had to be thoughtful about how we can trim expenses, how we can grow our revenue, but we need support from the greater community, from the Boulder businesses, the Denver businesses, the economic impact that we've had on this state. The last 2 years with Coach Prime here is off the charts. The viewership, we're 7th in the country, over 50 million viewers of our campus, our university, our state, our program. So that's significant. We need that to be returned to us by getting support from these local businesses and our fan base and our donors. That's just the reality.
You know, Rick, I was sad when I heard the news about you guys turning the grass into artificial turf. And I started to think, what's the reasoning for that? Is it to help have more opportunities to have the concerts on the field and generate money that way? Like, what went through you guys' mind when you guys decided to change the grass to artificial turf?
Yeah, there were a few things, Phillip, and it's a good question, and our base needs to understand this. We've been turf before, at Colorado, so this isn't the first time. We left turf and came back to grass, 15, 20 years ago. So this isn't something that is the first time it's happened at CU. That's number one. But as we look at it, the game's changed, and we know the calendar for the football season's changed. And everybody knows this that lives in Colorado. You don't grow grass after October.
Oh, yeah.
And until April. And so for us to be able to host a game, if we're so fortunate to host a CFP playoff game in the middle of December, we need to have the right surface for us to be able to do that. I'd hate to be able to compete in that game and not be able to play it because our surface isn't what it needs to be. So, that was a big part of it. The other part of it certainly is it allows us to have more opportunities to generate revenue. And look, let's face it, intercollegiate athletics is changing. It's going to change significantly when Judge Wilkins makes her ruling in the middle of April. We've got to be ready for that. And so for us to be able to host events at that stadium to increase our revenues, again, it's going to increase the economic impact that we have in our city and our state. And so, it's good for everybody. It's just a decision that we needed to make. We're confident in our decision. We're going to have great turf. It's going to be beautiful. And it's just going to add to the new scoreboard that we put in and all the other things that we've done to upgrade Folsom Field.
We're chatting with athletic director at CU Boulder, Rick George. Rick, a little bit of an against the grain question because while I don't know you, I've studied your words long enough and seen your movements, and you're going to deflect credit when possible. But I have to ask you, Deion Sanders could have been hired by a bunch of other schools, but they didn't. It was you, and you're the athletic director that brought in Coach Prime. And then he goes on to be like Time Person of the Year and Sports Illustrated and all this stuff, like your spring games on ESPN. Like, have you taken a moment for yourself of reflection and be like, I'm the AD who made this happen?
I'm the man.
Almost a little bit allowing yourself a moment of selfishness to a certain degree.
No, that won't ever happen with me. Look, Coach has done this himself. He's brought the exposure. Look, a lot of people say, well, you took a chance on Coach. That's not true. He took a chance on us. I gave him an opportunity, and he's taken that opportunity and running with it. And that's just reality. And it really has nothing to do with me. We have a great relationship. We talk a lot, and I think we have confidence in each other's ability to support each other. And look, it's been a great relationship, and I'm hopeful that Coach Prime will finish his career here because I think if he does that, he's going to have incredible success that I think it'll be hard to match in the future.
Rick, last one for me personally here. What do you think of when you think of the name Phillip Lindsay?
It's funny because I just had this conversation at lunch. I met with our basketball team in Vegas for the tournament tonight, and we were just talking. I said, I got to do this with Phillip Lindsay. And they said, well, tell me about Phillip. And I said, the guy has got grit. He's tough. He's got the right attitude. He's passionate. He's going to win in whatever he does. And that's how I view Phillip Lindsay. I mean, that dude, he's right on the post on the radio next to you, but that's what he did at Colorado. He just grit his teeth and he played his butt off, and he exceeded everybody's expectations other than his own. And he was incredibly successful at Colorado and in the NFL.
Rick, thank you for those kind words, man. And I just want to appreciate you, one, taking the time to come on our show and talk with us. But honestly, just you've been by my side, by a lot of the athletes' sides throughout these years. It's not just football. You go to the soccer games, you go to the lacrosse games, basketball games, you're tailgating. And I think that a lot of people need to understand that you're invested in us as players, as young men, as young women, as kids still. And sometimes we look up to you as that father figure, and people were able to come into your office and just have a conversation with you and be able to talk. And you were always there just to listen to us and also cheer us on. And when we do something wrong, you were there to slap us on the hand, but pick us back up. And I just appreciate that, man. I truly do. And